Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Intrepid Dawn. My name is Captain Katarn, and tonight we're going to get started with a very special stream. This is Star Wars Galaxies Legends, a VIP event with the developers here, as well as some community members, and we're going to be doing a question and answer session. I'm joined tonight by Rorash. What's going on, Roar? Or Ash?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself for the watcher or the viewers that are not familiar with SWG Legends as much?
So pretty much, I'm the one responsible for all of the crazy in-game events. Lots of crazy stuff we do. Yeah, I do a little bit of everything. Just making sure that people have fun on the server and have the most fun they can have.
That sounds exciting, right? And how long have you been playing Star Wars Galaxies?
For like, I've been part of SWG Legends now for like 2 years, but I've played SWG since I can remember. I absolutely love Star Wars, so yeah, it's a big thing.
Awesome. All right, we also have Talia. Good evening, Talia.
Hello.
Hi, can you tell the viewers something about yourself?
I pretty much am part of the event's social media team, just helping Ash with all the crazy events he does. I love playing SWG Legends. I've been on it since pretty much the beginning of SWG Legends. And I played on live since 06 till the end.
Okay. And what server were you on live?
I was on Bloodfin.
Bloodfin. All right.
I did a little bit on Flurry in the middle there, but Bloodfin was my home.
Excellent. All right, and we have, and I'm gonna say your name incorrectly, so go ahead and say it for me, sir.
Hi there, I'm Neliev. I'm one of the project admins in the Legends project, and yeah, I'm responsible for all of the management of the team and the planning, and yes, overall looking for all this stuff.
Excellent. And when did you start your Star Wars Galaxies career?
Started very late, I think, for the last 3 years of the game, up to the end, and with the project, I'm from the beginning.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate you guys coming out to answer the questions today for the community. First, I want to say this ship looks amazing. So if you're watching this from home, we are actually on a Soursob yacht. And whose yacht is this?
It's mine, but me and Talia actually decorated it together. It took us like 6 hours.
This looks fabulous. I'll have to make sure that I walk around and give everybody a tour of it later if you want to point out some of the things that I might miss. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Ash, and he's going to handle it from here. So go ahead.
Cool. First of all, I want to say, Tim, thank you so much for doing this stream. We really appreciate it. Like, on behalf of all of the staff on the project, we just want to say thank you to you before we get into it.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure.
So we have had a lot of questions on Facebook, on the forums, and even on Discord. So we have Nelev here, which is going to answer more of the development-related questions, and there is a ton to go through. You guys have been very, very vocal of what you want answered and things you want to know. So we're going to go straight in, Nelev. Are you ready for this?
Sure, I think most of the questions I can answer.
Okay. So the first questions we are taking from the forums. And Concentrix asked, will the Endor helmet ever come back into a loot table or be available?
Yes, the Endor loot helmet and also some other iconic loot is on the plan for us to do. Perhaps not by loot tables, but by some special other way we want to introduce some new kind of loot system.
I don't know about you guys, but I always love that helmet.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely goes for a lot. A lot of people like that one.
It's one of the objects I never had a chance to own on live myself, so I'm interested in seeing it come back onto the server. I know it's a big draw for a lot of players.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's one of those like iconic items in the game which everybody just wants to have. Like, whenever you think of like Return of the Jedi, you just think of a Leia's helmet. Like, I do anyway. Maybe I'm just weird. Anyway.
Hang on 2 seconds for me. Let me just verify. It sounds like we might have a problem with the audio here. I just want to make sure everyone can hear. So if you're in the stream land, let me know. Are you able to hear the developers as well? Everyone should be able to hear everyone. I just want to make sure we have no problems as we're going forward. Okay. People are saying they can't hear you guys. I can see you transmitting just fine on my audio, so this is weird. Give me 1 second. Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves, and I will get this fixed.
Okay.
So, Asher, I think you didn't get all the questions. So, how did you choose the questions?
I just picked, like, I didn't choose all of the questions because there literally was so many. I just picked the ones which kind of like a mixture.
Okay.
Yeah, there were literally pages on the forums of questions.
Okay, so it's just that you guys are a little quiet, so I've turned you up as much as I possibly can. I'm going to turn you up some more, and we'll see. So, okay, let's go ahead and continue. Thanks for your patience, everyone. I think we're good now.
Okay, cool. So hopefully you guys can hear me, but we're going to go on to the next question, which is from a player called Donnie. And Donnie asks if Spice will be coming back into the game at any point in the future.
Yes, definitely yes for us. We have already discussed this with the senators for some ideas how to reinvent spice, and we also have some ideas discussed in the staff on a totally different way. And we didn't decide yet how to do it, but we are positive that we want to have spice back in the game.
I'm excited for whenever Spice comes back in, just because I have a smuggler.
Yeah, it's a nice
It's great
smuggler
for
content, and
PvP.
we should have it again.
I don't like the debuff that it puts on you though.
For now, we didn't discuss which buffs we want to change or want to keep. We simply said we want to have spice back, and we are going on the first iteration. We would go with the buffs as we have been.
That's cool. So Donnie, the answer is yes at some point. That's very, very cool.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. Very cool. Glad to hear that. Looks like I think our audio problems are awesome or good now, so we're good to go. All right, yeah, Spice would be awesome. I remember that was one of the major things that they had updated back in the day with the Bounty Hunter versus Smuggler. Spice Trails, do you guys remember that at all? Where you would have your missions as a smuggler and you could potentially be intercepted? Or is that...
I remember.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. Thanks. All right, so we have another question.
Yep, the next question is from Jedi Soldier, and she's actually in the yacht right now, I think. She's on her character called Callie, so everybody wave to Callie in game. We're going to answer your question. Her question is, will we be getting GCW Space Invasions?
Yes, the answer is a little bit different this time. Yes, we want to do the space invasions again. Currently, we have concentrated on some other work. It's on our roadmap again, and I don't know if you have seen it. Kekis from SWG Source has done much work on this already, and I think he's nearly completing his work, and perhaps we would be lucky to get this too to implement it for us. If not, we would have to do it all ourselves, and then it would take some more time. But in the end, yes, we want to have the space inversions too.
That's pretty cool. Now, was that the part of the last patch before the game sunsetted? Or can you tell us a little bit about where that came from in the game? I'm not as well versed on the NGE as I should be. I'm sure other people aren't as well.
Yeah, I think it was game update 19 or 20, something like that. So one of the latest game updates, and it invented some massive space battles between capital ships, and the players could help each side.
Awesome. Yeah, I think jump to Lightspeed is one of the biggest draws for any server, and especially this one. I mean, it's done extremely well. I know you guys have a lot of plans to expand on that, and I'm sure we'll talk about more about that tonight. The chat is asking if they can ask questions. Absolutely, guys. You can put them in the chat, and we'll read through them. And if we get a chance to grab them at the end, we'll definitely pull some. Don't don't be shy.
Cool. I'm really excited though with the going back to the GCW Space Invasions. That's one thing I've never really messed with is space. Like people always ask me, when are we going to do space events? If somebody shows me how to do space, then we're definitely down to do space events, aren't we, Talia?
Sure, yeah. Space is great. No, space is fun. It can be fun. I'm not really good at flying, but I definitely I'm okay in a turret.
So we also have Jedi Soldier, Callie, which is at the event. She also asks, is there any chance on getting appearance crystals for our lightsabers?
We have discussed this idea already. Right now, we have not added on the roadmap. But the idea itself is a very good idea. In general, appearance weapons or appearance crystals is a thing we definitely want to do, but we didn't look at the realization thing on the realization side of this right now.
That's very cool. I don't know about you guys, but I always use a green lightsaber crystal. Green is my go-to color.
I'm blue because you can see it in my avatar there, but I've used blue no matter what, even when it wasn't the best. And that's one of the things. I'm not a min-maxer. I prefer looks over everything. So for me, the appearance tabs are awesome.
Very cool. Our last question from Callie, she asked 3 questions, which were very, very good questions. Her next question is, when are we going to see the rest of the Witches of Dathomir brought in? I know there are plans for the Night Sister bicep racers, but when might this happen? It has been 2 years, and when are we going to see this in-game?
Yes, a very nice question, because if you are going to the test center, you can see the update there already. We are currently testing all these updates for the rest of the theme park, and hopefully we'll bring it out within the next weeks.
Awesome. So that's is that now a mirror of the event that was on live, or is this something special you guys have added for the server?
It's a whole new theme park, and we have recreated it as it was on live.
That's awesome. Excellent. I can't wait to play that. Honestly, that'll be great content. I think that's one of the things. Sorry, go ahead, Talia.
No, I was just agreeing with you.
I think that's one of the things that sets this server specifically apart from some of the other ones, because as we know, at least this is my feeling, so I'm just kind of going off on the soapbox here for a second. But Star Wars Galaxies, in its current state, it needs to have fresh content in order to become a viable game in the future. And I think that this is awesome in terms of bringing in new players and other things like that, so that's great. The flash mob dance here is hilarious.
It's crazy.
Thanks for that. Just noticed.
We're going to take some questions from our VIP players, which are in game next. So we're going to have a break from the forum questions. Podsci asks Nelev, is there any plans on putting back PvP rating into the game?
We already had a discussion with the senators about the GCW leaderboard and having something like that, and the PvP rating would come with this, I think.
Very cool.
All right.
Callie's asking if the bracer will come out with the theme park. I'm assuming she means Witches of Dathomir.
Yes, I'm not totally sure about it, but I think it's in the loot table of one of the bosses.
Now, for some of us that might not be aware, are we talking about like the Night Sister armor shard, or what was it called?
I think it was called the Night Sister Arm Guard.
Yes,
Right.
the Night Sister melee arm guard.
Okay, I remember that. That was a huge item. Female player back in the day.
Currently wearing one.
I think it was always a shame that men couldn't wear it. Like all of my characters are male, and I could never wear one. I always really wanted one.
It's
Um,
not sister, not brother.
I know, I know.
I know all the males were all slaves
You know, this
in the Night Sister lore.
this dance reminds me. Raf Koster, who's the original developer of the game, once gave an interview where he said, you know, I think SWG's lasting image might be dance videos on YouTube. He's like, and 10 years later, he's like, I think I'm okay with that. So this is definitely in that mold as well. Having fun
we
with
have
it.
we have Talor in game. Talor is wondering, with you guys adding in new content such as the Senate building and the new Naboo house, will you be adding new things from Rogue One such as the U-wing ship or new hairstyles and clothing?
Ooh, I really want to know that too.
I want to know that as well.
Right?
So you also have another question asking about new ships. So that's the same. We have plans on adding new ships. You already have done some new ships who could be available in game. I think we have 4 new fighters and currently working on 2 new POBs. But what we need is a way to add this because we say we don't want to give it out right now. Just as giveaway. So we would like to have some content to get it, some kind of quest or something like that. About clothing, it's a totally different thing. I don't think we will see many new clothing in game because this is very, very much work on the developer side.
Good to know.
Can I ask a follow-up question? Kind of technical, maybe not. You can tell me if you can't answer. But is there a way currently to import models into into SWG?
What kind of models?
We'll talk afterwards. Sorry, I don't want to get into it really deep, but I used to be part of that modding scene. So, all right, thanks. Sorry about that, guys, derailing everything here. And looks like we have another ship that has entered ours.
Nice.
Nice.
Usual is asking, will there be more world bosses?
Yes, definitely. Everyone who's done the first world boss knows that there is a collection. Started with the first world boss, and there will be some more of them. Yeah.
And
That's
I know what
exciting.
they're gonna be. I know what they're all gonna be, but I'm not gonna say. Like I actually had a look
Exactly.
at. I looked at the document earlier with all of them, and they're really super exciting. I think everybody's gonna like them.
So the takeaway is that there's a lot of plans for the future, a lot of things that are in motion and development continues. I think that's fantastic.
Yes. There's a lot of things that players have asked for that have already been talked about and planned on and stuff. It's just implementing them just takes a little time.
Adele asks a very interesting question. He says, "Is there any talks of giving TCG items to individuals that donate to the server?" I don't think that's something that we really want to do. Is the answer for that one?
Yes, correct. Every donation is something you are doing as a volunteer, and we will never give you any kind of benefit for a donation. Not in game and also not outside of the game.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's probably a legal area too that you don't want to get into. So I can totally understand that.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, we have a great community that donates enough every month, and a lot of times even over the amount we need. A lot of people want to see this succeed without that,
Mhm.
so it's not really even necessary.
We have the best community. Like
We do.
we really do. Like it's really cool that everybody's listening to this because we can actually say how much we appreciate everybody. But for the project, it means so much. We wouldn't be able to do what we're doing without our community. It means the world to everybody on the project.
And I just want to say real quick before we go any further, I know I have some people that are watching the stream for the first time that have never seen Star Wars Galaxies. It's not just dance videos. In case anyone in the chat thought so. No, we're having a fun time. This is a party on a yacht for people that found tokens in the game, and we're being a little silly with it. But this game has everything from space combat to ground combat, everything in between. Definitely check it out. Totally recommend it. Okay.
Cool. So now we're going to go back to some questions from the forum. So guys which have asked questions in game, just hold. We'll go back to the in-game questions in a second. We're now going to go to a question that Rayneth asked, and we've already answered this. He says, is there any plans to add more ships to the game? Nelev just went over that. Our next question is from Colder, and this is a question that people ask me all the time, and it drives me crazy, and I don't always reply to them if they ask me this one. I shouldn't really say that on stream, but it's true. He asks, is there a plan on bringing back the Elder Jedi robes?
Yeah, very complicated question because we had some plans on adding them, and some issues have been arisen in the team and also in real life that these plans had to be cancelled. So right now we don't have a fixed plan how to add them. The answer is yes, we want to add them, but at the moment there is no concrete plan.
Lots of people always want those, don't they?
The one thing I hated about them, I mean, I like Elder robes, they're cool, but I didn't like the shoulders. I always thought that was like a model that needs reworked. So hopefully, I don't know if that's possible. You said that it's difficult to do clothing, but that would be my wish list, that the shoulder work got done. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I had them in game. I think a lot of us were, at least the older ones, were probably Elder Jedi. One of the things I like about Legends specifically is that there's no segregation of players like that, and everybody's on equal footing. Because I always thought that was one of the negative things in online communities, when some people were always like, I've had this for so long and you haven't, kind of thing. The fact that all players here are equal and the community is great is one of the biggest draws for me.
Aww. It's really cool that you think that, Tim.
Sappy, I know.
And if you look really close, if you look really closely in the ship, Tim, you will actually notice there's a decoration item which is currently unobtainable in the game, which everybody really wants. And Usual, if you're watching, there's a Sunrider's Destiny on the table. I just happened to put it there, literally. It wasn't purpose.
Okay, I'm gonna go down and take a look at it.
Okay, so the next question is from Donnie, and he says, do you guys, the staff, still enjoy making this awesome project a reality?
That's it's every day it's different. Sometimes yes, we enjoy the work on it, and sometimes, as we also have real life and family, there are other problems much more pressing, and yes, I wouldn't say we don't enjoy it, but it's not the top priority in that moment. But I can say overall, most of the time, we do enjoy the work, yes.
I agree.
I think Ash and I have a lot of fun putting on events for everybody, so yeah.
I can tell you it's definitely appreciated on the player side, and that's the difference. At this point, with the way that the different SWG projects have split off, you see new servers popping up all the time, but it's the ones that are run correctly with a great staff that make a huge difference, especially on the player side. Because if you're going to invest your time, you want to know A, that the server's going to be stable, and B, that the community isn't going to bolt. And you guys have done an amazing job keeping it all together. So I just want to thank you for that.
I think that, like, with our project, one thing that I think that kind of makes it what it is, like for me, when I do in-game things, I don't even look at what other games or what other projects are doing. I try to kind of keep it creative to Legends, so it kind of is true to the project that we're doing to make it stand out more,
Absolutely. And it totally shows.
To people that we have.
I agree.
And I did find the Sunrider's Destiny, and I opened it up for examination for everybody, so they saw it. It's legit.
You can't have it. You're not on admin. Okay, the next question. Oh, it's a comment. Watchkeeper says, I would like to see more moving NPCs than static ones. This was something that me and Nelev, we talked about this before, I think.
Yes, exactly, because I said the same. I've played some other games where the NPCs really had some kind of daytime routine. So standing up, going to work, then doing the work somewhere different, and then in the evening walking back to their house and getting in their bed and repeating this routine every day. So it would be fantastic and much more immersive if they would be much more interactable and moving than only be static.
Kind of adds more flavor and more reality, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, is that something that's possible to do on a technical side, or what type of issues are you facing?
From the technical side, yes, it's possible. It's only very massive work because you have to rework some of the scripting in game, and also I have to define waypoints or even change some houses. So this is possible at all.
Okay, that's cool. That's good to hear. I know sometimes people make suggestions, and the answer is we just can't do it, and that's always a little disheartening. But this is kind of cool. Good to hear it.
We have a question from Ruthless, and he says, how is the funding for SWG Legends going?
Oh, it's going well. I'm in charge of the money, so I can tell you that we always our donations are always at the point, at least, so we get enough money to yes, simply survive the next month, and we have much money or enough money in stock, so we can at least survive 2 months. So even if no one would be donating, the project wouldn't be in immediate danger.
Touch wood that day never happens. Hopefully we're here in 10 years.
Nice.
Absolutely. And can I ask a question from the stream? And you can tell me if we can't answer this or not.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't even know if it's in game right now, but are there any plans at this time to add a meditation emote for all the players to use? For part of the roleplay?
A meditation, what?
Meditation emote, like an emote, emotion. I guess. What would it be? Animation.
That I really can't answer because we didn't work on animations yet.
Okay, fair enough. Just wanted to make sure the chat got represented once, at least.
Yes, Tim, if there's any more questions from your stream, drop them in.
Okay, absolutely.
We have a question from K-Drama in game, and he says, is there any plans to look at the class expertise more closely, improve medic back to grenades, which has been changed on other servers? I don't think we've talked about that, Nalev, have we?
I don't think we have talked about that, but honestly, for expertise changes or realignment, we are relying on the senators. So they are much more on the player side and know the PvE and PvP content very well, and are used to know which skills are good in comparison to other skills and how the classes are balanced. So everything which needs to be balanced or changed should go through the senators, and we would discuss this with them.
There we go. We're now going to go to some questions from Facebook. My gosh, there's so many questions. It's craziness. So Clive from Facebook, he asks, when will the rare loot system be put into the game?
Easy question, not at all. At least not as you know it from live, because that was highly abusable with AFK. So we have discussed some other methods to do something similar, but the rare loot system as it was on live, we won't implement at all.
So then it's possible we might actually see the loot itself implemented other ways, though, is what you're saying. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Awesome. Just wanted to clarify that in case it wasn't clear. That's great, because as a player, I think that having those challenges, different systems, things to learn, always helps extend the longevity of a game. Certainly, new game systems have always, for me, been fun to kind of figure out, min-max them and whatnot. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
Definitely. I think it kind of keeps things fresh and keeps people engaged.
Absolutely.
We also have a question from Matthew on Facebook, and one of these I can answer. He's asking if the Nexu is in-game, and yes, the Nexu is in-game, and it's obtainable at the Geonosian Cave on Yavin 4. And for you, Nelev, he is asking, is there going to be atmospheric flight?
Atmospheric Flight, as it was on live, in the end game, we decided to not implement because it caused massive problems in the game. It was more of a gimmick for the end game, as everyone was clear it was closing. We have thought about perhaps doing something similar in one or two planets, zones, something like that, but not in the whole game.
Good to know. I personally wasn't a big fan of atmospheric flight. I think it kind of made the game a little bit too easy. What do you guys think?
I never got to experience that. I'm sad to say that when I read the message, I think it was the very day that Smedley came out and said that they were going to sunset it. I never logged into my character again. I was just so sad that the pain of it just made me never go back. So that was kind of the end for me. And I missed out on a lot of stuff. So I'm really glad that I'm able to see it through the server. I had no
I
clue.
thought atmospheric flight was a bit fun. As somebody who doesn't really care for space, I thought it was really fun to fly over the cities and actually see them. You could see players fighting on the ground. It was something that was trolled a little bit, at least with PvP and
Yeah.
whatnot. But I mean, if it's something that they could implement with,
Better
know,
performance.
something to yeah, something like that.
Okay. I do
But a
have
lot of people didn't like it, so
So I got a question from a player directly in game. He was asking if we are allowing harvesters on Mustafa, if you have any plans of this. And I would like to answer it directly. Right now, no, we don't have plans to place harvesters on Mustafa, simply because the resources there are so good, so exceptionally good, that the whole economy wouldn't is not let out for having harvesters on these resources.
That makes sense. Important to protect the player economy. There are some people that they make that their game, and that's the nice part about SWG, in that you can run a business in the game, which is kind of unique in the atmosphere, I think. Maybe other than like EVE Online. I do
think
have
it's like.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I do have a question from the chat, and it comes from Spado, and it says, "Are there any plans to put the full color template palette for all the armors? To add in the full color template?"
I have seen this question or idea somewhere else. It's a nice idea, but I can't say if it's possible or doable for every armor or every clothing. So we would have to look at the technical side first before I can say yes or no.
Sounds good. Totally dancing with Talia over there, right behind
This
you.
this dancing is making me kind of dizzy, you know.
should I stop it?
It's okay.
I'm gonna stop. Just to
We
make
have
sure everyone doesn't get sick.
we have a question from Bruce on Facebook, and he is asking, can we get the desks added to the game which used to be on live? I believe they were from the Housing Purge / Demolition event. I think it was called a Senate desk. The only one we have now is a Professor desk, and it's lame.
Yes, these are special desks, couches, and chairs from the demolition event. The problem here is a technical one because all the other events you are knowing, like Life Day or Empire Day or so on, are very easy to switch on and off. The demolition event is not. We will have to do some coding work on this one, and it's we have not yet looked into it. We only can say yes, we want to have it, but we can't say when we will activate it because, as I said, we need to do some work on it.
Oh, and I just want to say something too, because I just got a comment here. I've had blue hair on my character since 2006. Ezra Bridger can kiss my ass. Seriously, I'm not trying to be an Ezra Crown, since that's what they're asking. All right. Sorry, guys.
That's funny. Okay, we have a question from somebody called Melanie from Facebook. And she says, you guys have given away wearable guides of ice before during your in-game live events. Will other colors be available this year? And
Yeah, so Ash,
yeah,
that's a question for you.
the answer is we have given away guides before. I think right now we've given the Vapad and the Guys of Ice. And yes, this year we will give away other colors, so you guys can get the red ones. And yeah, don't worry, we'll have them for you this year. So if you come to event, you might get the different colored eyes. You heard it from me.
Very cool. No, this outfit is actually Luke's ceremonial Return of the Jedi thing, which I thought was perfect for a formal event. It's not Ezra's outfit. Just to follow up with that, because they're still saying that I'm copying Ezra. Okay, sorry to hijack the chat, but that's cool.
I like your outfit. I think it looks cool.
All right, thank you. Yeah, this is his members only style jacket. You wore.
We have a question from Aaron on Facebook, and he says, is there going to be an ability for alternative characters to have admin rights on harvesters?
That's definitely on my wish list too, because I'm playing more traders than anything else, and I'm running many harvesters on my characters, and it's always a pain in the ass to switch characters to get to all these harvesters. So from my side, yes, definitely we want to have some kind of ability to get get admin rights on your alternative characters on one account.
That's awesome.
I think a lot of people will like that as well, just for the convenience of that.
Right. I think that every game goes through a stage where it's it's all about the realism until convenience becomes a major factor. So CS get there is good as well.
Definitely.
I'm trying to find the cockpit to show them.
Wag was asking directly in game why it was removed, because in pre-NGE it was possible to have admin rights on the harvesters, and as far as I know, it was removed because it was massively abused with multiple accounts.
Uh-huh. Blood Commando asks in game, is there any more plans for new battlefields or zones similar to Restus?
Right now we don't have any plans on adding new battlefields or zones similar to Restos. I know that there are new battlefields out there on other servers, and perhaps it will be possible if we get some contribution from other coders to add them for us too.
We have a player called Adol in game also, which says, is there any plans on not having a GCW decay for players that can't always log in?
No, I don't think so. We didn't discuss this because that's one of the basic game mechanics to make all these points and things you are doing to get the points is useful at all.
We are absolutely streaming through these questions. Tim, do you have any questions from your stream?
Yep. Yes. Looks like they. And this is kind of a broad question, so I don't know if we'll be able to answer it. Are there any plans to add class-specific content, like the player bounty hunter system, for any other professions in game? I think we had spoken a little bit about the smuggler before. Is there anything else that you guys are okay with talking about now, or is that something that'll have to be revealed later?
We have talked about some smuggler content. Also, we have thought about in a Jedi theme park, but these are very long-term projects. Right now, we are concentrating on getting back the stuff which was lost with the leak and not online yet. So that's our first priority. We're also adding new stuff in the months ahead, but some things as theme parks or new systems for specific class need much planning and need much balancing and work. So yes, we have some plans on that or thinking about some things also together with the Senate, but I can't give you any concrete timelines or something like that.
Good to know.
Excellent.
Ruthless is in game, and he is asking, what is the current state of Porg familiars? And I don't know about you guys, but I love Porgs. I think we should have a Porg familiar in game, or at least a poster. There should be a Porg poster at least.
I think if it's a question for the development team, then I would say never, because no one in the development team loves porks.
And that's the best answer. You have my
Porgs are
support.
the best. Yeah, I think the community supports us, Talia, on that one.
I think so.
I think a porg poster would be a good idea.
Actually,
The developers would put in some roasted pork.
Wasn't that? Never mind. I think the senator should maybe you should bug a senator to ask the community about that, Ash.
Good idea.
I do have a question from the stream. They want to know, what is the status of the TIE Defender, and will we be seeing that in the game?
The TIE Defender is coming with the space battles normally, and as I said, that would be a huge work, or perhaps a little bit faster if we get some kind of contribution. If this is not the case, we already thought about adding some kind of modified TIE Defender on a different way, so the Imperials who are lacking a free gun fighter would get something to fill this gap.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
We have a question from Jane on Facebook, and she says, I love the anniversary celebration with the collection items hidden across Doba Kafel on Corellia. In the future, will collection items be available to drop from NPCs during the anniversary period? And I think, Nella, that for like the next anniversary, for the third year, I think that's a good idea, Jane. Maybe. What do you think, Nella, on that one?
Yes, it can be done from the technical side, I think, but we need to think about what would be dropping away if it's simply by killing NPCs or perhaps by clicking them. As we had the May the 4th event, there you have to get some loot from debris. We can do something similar for NPCs.
That's a cool idea. I'm glad you had fun with that, Jane.
I'm up on the observation deck now, checking out all the nice asteroids. That is one of the cool things that you guys did add with all the collision as well in space. I'm a big fan of that because I keep running into it, so it definitely adds a little bit of difficulty for me.
Tim, you need to.
It was a topic hotly discussed if we want to have a collision or not, and most of the very avid pilot community wanted to have collision damage.
Tim, you need to teach me and Talia how to do space.
I don't think that if you've seen any of my streams in space, I don't think that I'm the best pilot for that, but I'm totally down for it if you guys want to join me sometime for one of our streams.
I'll have to start watching a bit more.
Cool. I do have a question from Drago in the chat. He says, is the FRS, which is the Force Ranking System if you're a new person to Star Wars Galaxies, ever going to be implemented back into the game?
I think it's not that easy because it was a totally different system, a totally different class system, so a Force Ranking system wouldn't fit with the current class system.
And I agree with that. I mean, it was a cool thing in the way it was presented, but in reality, it was a really broken system. But it was one of those things that since it was a cool idea, people hang on to it. I think that there's room for improvement. So maybe in the future, you guys can do something even better. And then people will say, "Can we have that on other servers?" I think that would be pretty cool. Right. And if you have any questions in the chat, keep them coming in. I do have it on slow mode so that we weren't getting overrun with chat messages and I could actually see them. So every minute you can post a new question. Go ahead and get them coming in.
We have a question from Snowy. He just sent me an in-game message. He says, hello, can we get all of these cool decorations that Ash is using for events, somehow with tokens in an existing system like Chronicle rewards? I think somebody's seen the ship and is overwhelmed.
So this ship looks amazing. I haven't seen half of this stuff before.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff is available already. Some are on the Chronicle loot, some Chronicle vendors. Some other loot we will implement in different ways, yes. And for some of the items, like these housing signs up here on the balcony, we didn't have plans how to edit yet, but we are also in some discussion with the senators how to implement more of these loot. Because we don't want to put it on simply on a vendor, because for us it's more interesting to tie it to some kind of content in the game.
That works. I think that's anytime that you have something like that, it gives it more of a reward status as well. It's something that
There is a sign. Sorry.
Go ahead, Talia.
There's a sign that you can earn in game if you enter the home show.
Yes, enter the home show, guys, if you want a house sign. It's a TCG item and you guys can get it. Everybody can get it. You just have to decorate your house in a really cool way.
Yep. It's not these ones that are on the ship, but they are really cool.
Actually, I wanted to ask you and Talia about that. I was thinking about maybe doing either a stream every week, or maybe I'll just put a private video together and then throw it up there as a regular release, just of the home show people, because people are putting so much time and effort into decorating this. I thought it'd be cool to have a chronicle of that.
That would be amazing. There are a lot of people who are so close to winning, and it really comes down to who has the best overall look and like complete idea together with their houses when we're going through them. And sometimes it's really close as to who wins, and sometimes it's a tie. It's really hard to decide on a lot of these. So yeah, that would be awesome if people could see some of them in one place.
Thinking like a galactic, yeah, like a galactic lifestyles of the rich and famous style show.
Yeah.
Come up with something like that.
The standard is so high for the home show. Like one day, Tim, you'll have to come and look at all of the houses, but the standard is so high. Like the players are literally spending hours decorating it. It's so hard to judge. But we do look at all of them, and we like all of them. They're all so good.
Absolutely. Now, we did have one question. I'm not sure if it's outside the scope of this. Let me see if I can find it. 1 second. Are the devs looking to adding restrictions to exceptional weapon components if they're going to add them to the Witches of Dathomir theme park?
That's the first question. I would like to say no comment, because it's hotly debated at the moment in staff and also with the Senate, and we haven't reached any conclusion yet.
Okay, well that's good. I think it's important to get that answer out there so they know what's going on too. So that's good.
We have a question. We have a question from John on Facebook, and he is asking, what inspires the SWG Legends team to continue working on the project?
I think different things. So one thing is we all love Star Wars and we love this game, and we want to make it the best version of the game. The other thing is we get many positive feedback from the community, and with every positive things you the players or community are saying about us, and giving us something like a thumbs up, we are simply going on and saying yes, that's the way we want to do it.
Very cool. And it's also, I mean, the community also inspires us a lot. I mean, they definitely inspire me. People might suggest things sometimes and say, oh, it'd be cool if we could do this for an event. We take a lot of feedback from the community. And talking about community, Paula on Facebook is asking how much of what players feedback to you guys do you actually see or acknowledge?
I think not all of us, but some of the developers and especially events team are looking through most of the posts in the forum and getting the feedback, getting the ideas there, looking at the discussions, and taking some of the things directly to staff, or some we are handing over to the Senate and saying, oh, these are good ideas, please discuss them and give us a feedback what you think. So yes, we are taking much of the feedback and looking through it, and some of these things are also acknowledged, sure.
Indeed. Yeah, we listen a lot to what people are saying. And even if people think that what they're saying isn't being heard, we are reading. Like we read the Facebook every day, we read the forum. We're very, very engaged what people are saying and what people are wanting for the project.
Sorry, guys. I'm playing with the toys in the game. I'm definitely listening though.
I saw somebody was winning on one of the machines over here somewhere.
I have no idea how to play this.
We have a question from Talor in game, and she says, "Will the 2009 White Ewok Festival of Love Wings become available in some way in the future?" I thought we added the rewards to the Festival of Love, Nelev.
Yes, I think the craftable wings are in the vendor already, so you can get any color you want.
So Talor, if you're listening, try and get your hands on one of the customizable Ewok Festival of Love Wings, and you'll be able to craft them in any color you want. There you go.
Okay, it's a popular question in the chat, and if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. They're asking, are there any plans to deal with or curb AFKing in any way?
Yes, AFK is a very big discussion. AFK is part of this game, and in some points and parts we need the AFK gameplay, because we say you have some mundane tasks, so no one wants to do ATK. So yes, we acknowledge that AFK is part of this game, but in some areas it's so heavy or massively that yes, we are having plans to stop the AFKing in these areas, not by setting up some rules, but by some technical means.
Okay, so Ash, other than hacking the game and stealing the Sunrider's destiny, there's no other way to get it?
There isn't.
Okay. Just making sure. I keep showing it to tease people.
You've got your eye on that, haven't you?
Well, I personally, it's not a color that I like, so I wouldn't even use it if I had it. So just being honest. But I know it's a big deal to a lot of people.
We have
Yeah,
a
but
question.
the most interesting thing for me is if you would put the Sunrise Destiny simply for a published gift and everyone can get one, it wouldn't be rare at all anymore, and no one would ask for it anymore.
Right, and nobody would use it because it's an ugly color. But yeah, more blue colors. I'm all about that. Actually, I mod my own palettes, so you can do whatever colors you want.
We have a question from Jake on Facebook, and he says, "What type of community events are you guys hoping to do this year?" And that's a very, very good question, Jake. Wow. So this year for events, we want to do like a range of things. In the past, we've done really big events, and unfortunately, the server hasn't always had the best kind of lifespan during an event. We've had lots of connectivity issues and crashing and server going crazy. But in terms of events, we definitely want to make sure that they're like frequent, so each month. One thing I really want to do this year with Talia is do more things which are kind of story driven. So maybe some like chronicle quests, which are, maybe assisting a Star Wars character in a story and having a story going alongside an adventure. So yeah, iconic things.
That sounds awesome. That's the kind of stuff that. Sorry, go ahead, Talia.
We have a few other events that we're planning on doing regularly, like our Beastmaster event that Kraken held recently. He wants to do a couple more of those this year, and the new and returning player events. We try to put that on at least once a month, if not every other month, just to help out any new players, just with basic things about the game.
And that event is always really popular. Like we always get a lot of players which are coming back to the game or new to the game, new to the project, and some of these players have not even played Star Wars Galaxies before, so it's a big kind of learning curve for them. And I know Talia spends a lot of time kind of talking to them about how to play the game, and it's that event's always very popular.
Yes, and some of our senators are really nice and come out and help answer questions as well, so they can get to know them if they have any issues that they want to talk to the senators about or whatever, discuss with them.
So guys, I will have to leave in a minute because we have a developer meeting in 2 minutes or 3. So any last question you have?
I have one from the stream if we can get it in. Are there any plans to make energy weapons more competitive versus kinetic weapons in PvP? Would give players a wider choice of viable weapons. And also, why did we leave Revi behind? Okay, I'm sorry about that, Revi. Apparently somebody didn't get on the ship.
Sorry, Revi. Sorry.
So I have to admit I'm not the PvP player at all, so I can't answer that question. But if there is a problem with the balance on these weapons, it should be run through the senators, who are some of them are avid PvP players, and they can make some kind of proposal to balance this again.
All right, very good. Thank you. Thank you so much for answering questions today.
We have a question, Nalev, for you from K-Drama, and he is asking, do you guys have any hint on what you'll be doing with player cities or cities specializations?
I can't say anything about this already because we have discussed some kind of concept already about specification or also perhaps changing this the city citizenship numbers or something like that. But currently we decided to not change anything because right now we are too far with 2 years into the cities already. It would have to be considered very carefully if we are changing anything there.
Cool. Do you guys listening have any more questions for Nalev before he goes?
Okay. Sorry. We have just a comment. They love the events. They're not always able to join, but they're glad you guys work so hard at them. So that's some love for the community team, for sure. Are there any plans to add roads to player cities or paved areas?
As I said, player cities are a very specific topic. With cities 2 years old, we have to be very carefully what to change there.
Okay. Understood.
Okay, guys, I have to move on to the next meeting. So thanks for the chance to answer the questions, and there are very good questions in there. And I get it that you want to know much more. So if you have any questions, always try to contact the senators or also the admins. Most of the time, they are glad to talk to you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out on the stream tonight and answering those questions. And it's super appreciated. Community is very nice.
Thank you too for moderation, and see you soon in game.
All right. See ya.
See you, Nalev.
All
right, guys. Now we still have the community team on with us, so if they have a few more questions they want to answer, it's up to Ash and Talia here if they want to take a few more that are directed specifically to them, and then we can wrap it up.
Talia, this is a question maybe you can do. I mean, me and Talia kind of have a warped mentality, but like Lionel from Facebook asks, the server events are always kick-ass on Legends. Where does the creativity come from, Talia?
Well, like you said before, we have people who suggest events or ask to do some specific things, and we take that into consideration when we throw events together, and we put some of those ideas into our events. And then some of the stuff we just come up with on our own. Ash is really good at coming up with ideas for events. I mean, he's been doing the events for way long. I only recently joined in December, and he's been doing these events since the beginning. So, yeah, he's the big idea maker here.
Do you want to know something really? Do you want to know something really funny, Tim?
Sure.
So, about a year ago, we were doing an event, and bearing in mind, like when you're in God mode, like when you're running events, you're in God mode, so you have access to different commands which players don't have. So I thought it would be funny to kind of TEF everybody so they could attack each other at the end of an event.
Okay.
And so I put this command into the game, and the whole server went down. And as soon as I put the command in, it's a connection to SWG Legends lost. And I was like, oh, hell. And I knew at that point I was done.
Nice. Yeah, that would
He's
be.
only crashed the server a few times.
Yeah, but if you don't admit to it, nobody knows. So you just kind of outed yourself there. But I mean, you just be like, it just happens, you know. Uh, that's how I play off any problems I have in my streams or whatever. Like, dude, it's YouTube. It's not me. Audio's not working. YouTube.
We have one question. I have a question from John. He says, when are you guys going to do a massive PvE event including iconic Star Wars characters? And John, that's a really good question. When you say massive PvE event, we have to be careful, obviously, because of the way the server kind of interacts with the events. But we definitely want to do more stuff with different Star Wars characters, and explore kind of different events / live stories of different Star Wars characters. So yeah, you'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely. And I just want to say thank you to anyone that did subscribe to the channel during the stream. I do all kinds of sci-fi gaming from SWG to Stellaris, SWOTOR, which I probably is a 4-letter word here, but you know what I mean. All kinds of different stuff, Star Wars, Star Trek, everything. So thank you very much for subscribing. It does mean a lot to me. If your subscriptions are public, Lord Vader is gonna welcome you on the stream. So, thanks. There we go.
Your destiny lies
The
with
last
me,
question we have
Skywalker.
is from,
Obi-Wan knew
and yes,
to be
guys,
true.
before I go to the question, subscribe to Tim. I think you definitely have to subscribe to Intrepid Dawn if you haven't done so already. Getting a little plug in.
Appreciate it.
Reware asks, what is the status of players contributing to game design? There have been no words after the initial information of being a contributor. Reware, if you are listening, I was the one that kind of organized the contributor program. And yes, we are still looking for contributors, and you should have received a PM from me, but if you haven't, I will re-PM you, or if you get in touch with me, then we'll talk that over.
Right, very cool. Sorry about that. I got a message on my phone which plays the transporter sound from Voyager, so it's a little loud. I didn't mean to
Your
talk over you.
destiny lies with me, Skywalker.
And I think
Obi-Wan
that's it. I
knew
think
this
that's
to be
all the
true.
questions.
Okay, so if nobody else in the chat has any questions that the community team can answer, looks like a lot of people are having fun talking about a hot race. I don't know. I guess that would be a technical question if we could add new races to the game or not. Say probably no, but
Players can actually do storyteller ones.
oh, okay, pretty cool.
Ash has set one up for a couple events he's done.
I actually wouldn't mind making a storyteller video with you guys. I have no interest in leveling a storyteller myself, so maybe we'll have to get together and see what we can come up with. But just to kind of show off that system, because I think that's an amazing system that I don't know many games at all that have something similar to that. So the very SWG specific content is the stuff I like to focus on. It just shows how far ahead of its time this game was.
Yes.
Yeah, guys,
yes,
and if you
especially with that storyteller one.
Absolutely, and if you look out the window here, guys, you're gonna see that there are all kinds of ships flying around us. Those are all actually other players. So that's
so cool.
This is the neatest part about this game, is that when we're in space, that's a real player. They can see our ship. They can't see into the ship because the windows are darkened, but we are here. So if there was a glitch or something, they would actually see into us and see us all dancing around like fools. But this is so cool. So this is part of SWG Legends. This is the Jump to Lightspeed module that we've been in all day, or all evening here up in the stars. So definitely check it out. If you're not already playing Star Wars Galaxies, you can get started. I have a link in the description to my guide on how to install the game and how to get it started. And I'm sure that everyone would welcome you as well.
Definitely. You guys are definitely welcome to play here. We have an amazing community, and yeah, come and join the chaos. We all love Star Wars, and we're like a big family. And I am seeing in chat a lot of people are spamming me with are we going to be able to keep or get our VIP tickets? Talia, I think we should give them a VIP ticket, don't we? So they can use it for decoration. Are the ones they picked up on the floor?
We could do that.
Yeah. You guys can have your VIP ticket to keep.
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. Sure they're all gonna like that. It's one of those things in MMOs. Nothing is rare over time unless it's actually unobtainable. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. I want to thank you both for hosting this event and asking me to come out here and stream this. I had a great time. Looks like we answered a lot of questions. I apologize to anyone else that's still answering questions. You're asking development questions now, which I don't think that the team that we have here currently. I kind of feel like Disco Lando. I don't know how many of you people watch Star Wars or Star Citizen. Like everyone asks design questions and they don't have designers on, so they can never answer them. He's always like, "Well, I have the art team." That's not, that's not an appropriate question right now. So, but thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and thank you so much for hosting this. This has been amazing, for sure.
Thank you so much, guys, and for you guys which are watching, we appreciate our community so much, and without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this project, and it means so much to us. So thank you.
Right. And so we're going to go ahead and sign off now. So my name is Captain Katarn. This is Intrepid Dawn. If you love sci-fi, this is the place to be. Go ahead and consider subscribing. It's free for you. Helps me out. And I do put out videos almost 7 days a week on various sci-fi games. And chances are there's going to be something you enjoy. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the verse.